Well, knowing after Dylan touches it, anything could happen.
Exactly.
You know,
It's true.
do I really have to do this kind of stuff? Because,
Yes.
you know, I don't know. I'm a
You're
guest
doing
here.
it for your academic...
Whatever. This is a drink through that you wanted to do.
Exercise.
So.
I'm a guest here.
Welcome to Curiosity Public. My name is Dutch.
My name is Jules.
Angelic Dylan.
And welcome to yet another one of our world famous drink throughs.
Stop stealing our stuff.
It's making Dylan's head explode. Yes, another drink through, and this one, I think we've actually had a number of requests for this.
Oh, really?
A lot of people really interested in
Wow.
3 years ago.
Actually, okay. Surprising.
recently. I think Ernie, one of our first supporters of the channel, was asking about this. Now one of our producers. So we finally got it. I think we have most of it, almost all of it.
Yeah,
Not all of the single
one
barrels.
missing, but I
Yeah.
mean, sourced stuff and.
Yeah, we got a pretty good lineup here of this stuff. Recently, Jules and I did a live stream where we cracked into a bunch of these at once and talked about them. So if you want kind of like a little supplemental viewpoint, you can check that out. But this is the real drink through. These have all had a little bit of time to open up. And let's get right into it, huh? Or do you want to talk a little bit about...
Let me just give a little background. So this is a company out of Sonoma County in California. And so for our folks, for our viewers on the East Coast or elsewhere in the world, you may not have seen this on the shelf or you may not have any experience. The reason I wanted to do this was because the area in the area that I'm from, this had a lot of heat in the last couple of years. They've gained a lot of prominence, and there are a lot of enthusiasts running around at the beginning trying to get, especially the Cask. These are all batch one, so these are like the first releases, and the company sources their stuff.
Some of it.
Yeah, some of it. It comes from Indiana, Kentucky, and
I think even some Tennessee.
And some Tennessee, actually. But then they are also making their own stuff.
And I think these are the Bottle and Bond are their own distillate. I think. Well, we'll get as we go through, and we'll tell you exactly. They actually disclose pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, though, it's easy to find these in California. Yeah, pretty easy.
And what is the Redwood Empire? It's basically on the west coast. I mean, the coast of California, northern coast, and the company also want to protect the trees, and I think they also donate.
Yeah, a portion, I think.
Yeah, a portion.
And each one of these is actually named after a specific redwood. I think they're all redwoods.
Have you seen all of these?
I haven't. Have you?
I think I have. Yeah.
Did it look like a tree?
All trees.
Was any one of them an ent?
Nerd.
Okay, let's get let's get started with the pipe dream. Okay, pipe dream, guys. This is their bourbon whiskey, and they all have quotes on them. This one's a John Muir. Are they all John Muir quotes?
They love John Muir.
The power of imagination makes us infinite. And let's take a look at the bottle here.
Imagination.
That's pretty cool. 45% alcohol. The pipe dream is they got info on the little label about all the different trees, exact coordinates of where they are too, so you can go find them. Neat. This one is distilled in California, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So we're assuming a blend of their own distillate along with MGP or whatever it's called now, Ross and Squibb.
Yeah.
Dickel probably from Tennessee, and then I don't know where they're getting the Kentucky stuff. Maybe Barton. How come nobody got me a glass?
No, you had one. Oh my goodness.
I dropped the cork.
Oh.
Oof, gross.
It's clean now.
Alright, let's try it.
Okay, yeah, how's the nose? It's okay.
I would say, let me tell you something.
Peanutty.
It doesn't stand out in any way, but what I think ironically is important here is that it's not chaotic.
It's not grainy either.
Yeah, it's not chaotic. Honestly, and remember, they blended
a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. And usually those things come out. So
somewhat reminds me of Jim Beam White Label.
Kind of,
like a little bit higher proof.
A little bit of the grain.
Yeah.
A little bit of the grain.
A little that this peanut sweetness in there. Yeah. It's not a bad nose.
No.
Palate. Tracks the nose. It's okay.
Serviceable.
I mean, it's okay. What I don't like about it is the bitterness.
A little bitter. Second half.
Rainy
the
bitterness.
later half finish too.
I don't know why, but it's probably like power of suggestion. But I feel like I taste Dickel or like Dickel-like components that are non-aged young versions of it. There's a little bit of.
It doesn't scream Dickel though.
Well, there's a component where like the tannic was blended in. The tannic components of a more woody barrel.
Yeah.
So
it's
okay.
It's okay.
I mean, the price it's priced in the 30s, $30 or whatever. I don't know if that's good or bad, but for a craft distiller pricing it like that.
Yeah. For the non-connoisseur,
You can appreciate it, dude.
the person just wants a pour of whiskey on the Friday on some rocks. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
It'd be fine. You're gonna probably enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Probably be a good mixer, but if you're really into tasting spirits and a spirits nerd, you're probably not gonna lose your mind over this one.
Right.
Yeah. But
And even pass.
maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
I understand.
Well, we got a lot.
I don't buy that.
We got a lot to get through, so let's
go.
Let's just keep on trucking.
Just wanted to mention Dylan.
Okay, guys, next bottle here is the Lost Monarch blend of straight whiskeys. John Muir says, for this one, in every walk with nature, one receives more than he seeks. Or she. Actually, that's not the quote. He does say he. Sonoma County, cool. I like the artwork on
That's
these
a
too.
photo, or like an image of him.
Aged at least 3 years. Not something I would brag about, but let's see where this is from. Bottled by Redwood Empire Distilling. Does not say the source, at least
So it might be their own.
there. It is aging our barrels. They say it doesn't say where they come from. It just says it's a blend of straight whiskeys. So interesting. You got any info on where the source is? If it's all their own stuff? No?
What?
Is that your dream too?
That was in the dream.
Falling asleep.
Par for the course. Just boring conversation anyway. So the Lost Monarch is the world's largest coastal redwood by volume.
Cool.
In the Grove of Titans. So it's a blend of straight rye whiskeys and straight bourbon whiskeys aged at least 3 years.
Dylan just clicked through his laptop to produce nothing.
You're right.
It was all for show. Okay, how is the nose on the blend?
Oh, we're doing nose.
Sweet.
A lot of sweetness. More sweetness on the...
To me, this is the
Almost
one
like
that
candy nose.
I don't know. This whereas the first one, I felt like they blended it. This one to me is a little more chaotic.
The nose
There's
is okay.
a lot of like disparate aromas coming out.
Oh, the palate's pretty nice.
Oh, I disagree. I am not a fan of this.
It's not my jam.
A fan of this.
But I think a lot of people would
It's
like
okay.
this.
I think this is
sweet.
To me,
more tolerable than
no.
the...
To me, like
bourbon.
there's a medicinal rye. There are all these different flavors that are not melding together for me. So
I like it better than the bourbon too. I'm with you on that.
no, I think the bourbon has more traditional blend. This one is
I agree with that.
no, I agree
I'm
with
just
that.
saying, what do I like better?
Exactly.
This stands out a little more. It's a little more unique.
Yeah.
I think it's...
I mean, they say like the perfect choice for those who just can't decide between rye or bourbon. We call it the best of both.
it doesn't
worlds.
really taste like either.
I would respond and say
doesn't.
it's neither of those.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's just kind of it doesn't know what it wants to be.
It's kind of interesting though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, it's nothing I'm going to write home about. It's not enough of an elevation to make me super excited about it, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have a lot to say about it either.
I'm not a fan of the rye component here. It's just it's immature. There's too much bitterness. I mean, like the medicinal component is somewhat, buried because it is a blend, but
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think any of us love it. I just Should we move on to the rye?
Yep. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Okay, the rye, known as the Emerald Giant. John Muir says here, most people are on the world, not in it. Look at that. Look at that giant. What a cool looking dude. Look at the back here. Some info. So Emerald Giant is crafted from hand-selected barrels aged at least 4 years. And this one is distilled in California, Indiana, Kentucky, bottled by Redwood Empire. So it is a blend of their own stuff with the others. They say aging it in the temperate climate of Northern California allows for a slow and even extraction of flavor.
Wow, that is just
It's not that bad. I mean, I spilled a little bit, but actually I spilled a lot. All right.
it's like I spill a little bit and it goes. Psh.
I was going to rub Jules' hand in it. Okay.
All right.
That's interesting.
What a morning.
All right. How is the nose?
To me, better because it's singular
It's
and it's
focused.
focused. Yeah.
It smells like a really good rye.
Yeah.
It smells like a good rye. Maybe not really good. It smells like a good rye.
It's a good rye.
Yeah. 90 proof.
We're entering into
getting-
the woods now.
Yeah, but you get a little bit of that citrus, so some kind of bright fruit
Yes.
component.
Yep. I'm getting citrus.
But I'm not getting any. Well,
I don't get medicinal.
I guess maybe in the back
Tinge.
a tinge, a tinge, but not overwhelming.
No.
Enough that it's like
pleasant.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's a palate. It's pretty good.
Very young
I think
rye.
it's okay.
It's a young rye.
For the price you're paying for this, for $20-$30, I think it's actually pretty good.
I'll say.
I think it's the best.
the best of the
so
three.
far.
Yeah.
I mean, the positive is that you don't get like the young, weird, caustic, medicinal type of flavor.
That's what I'm saying. Like for a $20 to $30 rye, I don't know of many that are better than this.
Yeah, I think this would be really good
think
for
this is really
cocktails.
good. Yeah.
I think you mix this with something, and
I think put it up against any other $20, $30 rye, and you have a potential winner.
This could be the winner.
I mean, there's not many that come in
It's
at that
very
price
good
point
for that point.
that are this good.
Old Forester rye.
Old
Compare it
Forester
to-
rye.
What do you think?
This is more traditional rye almost. That one's a lot sweeter. That one's more like a bourbon. This is actually more like a rye, and I think if you are a big rye fan, you'll probably like this better than the Old Forester.
Yeah.
Both very good. I think the Old Forester is probably a little more drinkable for most people.
See, I never thought that the Old Forester rye was that drinkable.
This
I know
is
you.
really
I know you
drinkable.
went crazy over that, but
I think it's super drinkable.
I never go back to it. I just don't like it.
I like this almost just as much. I really do. They're kind of on par for me.
So there you go.
So Dylan's bored.
Yeah, best of the three core, I think.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yes.
Yeah. It is.
It's the best of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dylan agreed.
Dylan doesn't have a lot to say about this for once. So let's milk that and keep going.
Yes. That was brilliant.
All right, Grizzly Beast. Pass it on down.
It's what they used to call Dutch.
And basketball? That was something else, but yeah. Look at that. Grizzly Beast straight bourbon whiskey, distilled grain to glass in Sonoma, California, bottled in bond. So this is all their own distillate. We got the stats on it there. 66% corn, 23% rye, 7% wheat, 4% barley, 4-grain mash bill. Lot size was 70 barrels, I'm guessing, and aged 5 years.
Summer
Single
of
season.
69.
2017. Batch 2. Let's see.
I like batch 2. Oh, man.
Yeah, where's batch 1, dude?
Oh, they sold me the
At his house.
batch 2.
They...
All right, let's try this.
Let's try this, yeah.
Yeah,
Should we nose it first?
let's go.
I'd love Dylan to host this program one time.
Seriously.
You guys just do whatever you want to do. Let me talk to the
Show.
camera.
All right, what do you think?
I like it.
Very grape forward,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. It's a Fanta soda grape flavor.
Very no. This is wine grape.
It's a joke. Okay. Oh, no, you like Shasta. That's what it was. Sorry, I meant
Yeah,
Shasta.
Shasta.
Yeah, grapey. A little bit of oak.
Yeah, a little bit of oak.
A little bit of the brown sugar sprinkled on top.
Yeah, I'm getting caramel.
A little bit of ethanol. A little
Yeah,
a little more than I would expect.
But you know what
for a bottle
though?
of
You know
wine.
what though? Like you can say ethanol, but I get a little tinge of like a chemically.
I don't get that.
You do.
I just get a little bit of the proof coming through.
It's right underneath that grape. I mean, like overall, just a cursory,
It's a pleasant nose.
cursory nosing. I mean, it's, you're
good
just gonna
nose.
get a lot of grape. So it's
Okay,
good.
palate. It's pretty good. Interesting.
I think I like the finish more than the palate.
It's a little
No,
bitter.
I don't like the finish.
I don't like the finish either.
It's bitter and tannic.
It's bitter. The mouthfeel is actually better than I was expecting. I like the mouthfeel. I like the initial flavor hit. It's a little bit on the spicy
I'm
side.
getting the bitter now.
Yeah, I think for me, like every time I taste this, it's like the first half, you're like, oh, excited, and then
Yeah.
the last half and the finish is just super bitter.
And then very dry.
Yeah, very drying and very bitter.
Which is ironic. 5 years old. You wouldn't expect it to.
I don't know. I
do
mean,
that, but-
this is one of those things where maybe,
Oh man, it's really dry.
yeah, it's really
Yeah.
drying. Yeah.
I just had my second, and it's, yeah. Well, I think what I was really describing was more of like that mid palate.
But
It was really
flavor wise, I actually think the flavors are all really good.
I can see potential,
Yeah.
but I mean, this is not my jam because I need more jam and I need more a little bit of that
Which is
towards the...
Intriguing is after 5 years for it to taste like this, because I don't get grain, which I actually give them a lot of credit for. Like,
Yes,
there's not a
I
youthful
agree.
grain. It
Yeah.
doesn't taste super young.
Yeah.
It actually tastes older than 5. It just...
You were right about the grain. There is none.
So I give them a lot of credit. No grain. Doesn't taste young.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little too drying for me on the back end. The flavors are pretty good, though.
Yeah, but man, that finish is just...
It's pretty harsh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not harsh. It's just really drying.
I think what it is too, it's like because it builds up to it.
Yeah.
But every time
then
you
it just
sip it, it just
stays-
kind of...
yeah.
It
Builds.
it builds...
It's like I need some water after
Right.
this. Yeah. Okay, well, we got to keep moving, so let's get on to the next one.
Going.
Okay, pass on down the bottled in bond rye, which is called Rocket Top Straight Ride. Straight rye. I can't talk.
Can you say ride the red rocket?
Ride the red rocket.
Do it fast.
Do it fast. There you go. That's cool looking. As we see here, a 55 barrel batch, 87% rye, 5% wheat, 5% malted barley, 3% corn. Really unique mash bill.
Yeah.
And aged for 5 years. And down here in the fine print, distilled and bottled by Redwood Empire. So this is all of their own stuff. Let's give it a try.
Go for it.
Batch 2. I did pretty well there.
You did. Well done.
So you guys think we're kind of screwing up our palates by going back and forth between the bourbons and the ryes?
Not me.
How's it is?
Bright.
Bright?
Still retains that grape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's almost
more grape than like any
it's
citrus.
almost less rye than the cheaper rye.
Yeah, I agree.
But it still has the
Interesting.
the components.
still
of
has
it.
that component of rye.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to drink this in a forest. Like it kind of smells like the forest a little bit.
There's a candy. There's a candy component.
Yeah, it's almost like pine needles and candy corn.
Yeah, candy corn.
It is candy corn underneath there.
Yeah.
Interesting, because 3% corn. It's so low in corn. All right, guys, let's try the palate. Yeah, this is a complete product here. It's spicy.
There's a spice there.
The finish is like spicy pine needles. Minty a little bit.
For me, the finish has the grain. It's a little bit more grainy.
I'm not getting that.
Maybe.
In fact,
What I
I'm
like about
actually-
this is that it's less drying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Almost kind of buttery in the mid palate.
I was gonna say I think I'm getting a lot of buttery on the mid palate, and then I'm getting the sweetness back on the finish too.
A little bit of it.
I feel like it's almost
it
like
starts
I did.
with sweet.
Yeah, it does start.
And it does linger, but it does
then
taper off. too.
Savor, yeah, tapers
There's still
and
a
then comes back.
little bit of that bitterness.
I don't think I get it.
I get a little bit of that bitter. Just keep
me try.
sipping. Right at the end.
Maybe a tiny bit. Yeah, it's almost like a burnt thing. It's like a charred pine needle thing. It's like just singed a little bit.
Right.
And maybe a tiny bit drying still. I don't know if that's carryover though.
I'm not getting that.
It's very subtle. It's not enough to put me off.
very subtle.
So far, this is my favorite of everything we've had.
I mean, would you say well done?
Yeah, for their own distillate,
Yeah.
doesn't taste young.
Yeah, their own product.
What I love about it is that they were able to get the grain out.
Got the grain out.
Man, again, I don't understand why people think like not getting the grain out is acceptable.
I think this is a great example of a different climate doing very different things with the similar ingredients, right? You see the stuff that's aged in Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, that area, of course.
Wisconsin, Texas.
They all have their own,
Yeah,
climate.
but this is a unique mash bill too. Though.
It's a very unique mash bill, but even the bourbon, which is also it's a 4 grain.
Right.
We've had other 4
Right,
grains,
which we've had. Yep.
and sometimes they're super grainy. This one's really not. The bourbon is not, and the rye is definitely not. This is the standout so far to me. The lingering flavors are actually really nice.
Yeah.
Like I got a little bit of
So
that.
far, out of
more
the 5,
food.
this is my favorite.
Yeah. What's the price point on these bottled and bond ones?
I think they're like in their 50s.
So with the
Let me see what
$50,
the price is.
so this would be in the price range then of like the Willet 4-year.
Oh, I guess the prices are a little higher now. 70, 80.
Oh wow.
For the bottle and bond?
We just had the rocket top, right?
Yeah, Rocket Top.
Yeah.
So Rocket Top, a little pricier.
75.
I feel like I've seen it cheaper than that. I don't know. I think this is a contender in the 40 to 50 range.
Yeah, I agree.
It's 70, yeah, maybe, but what are you buying?
tricky.
What are you buying instead for a rye? I mean, I think I might still go back to the Willet. Because that's around 50
Yep.
at the high end.
Well, they raised the prices on that, so now it's like
Well, it's gone up too.
No,
The 4 year.
I feel like I've seen that. Yeah.
I haven't seen that recently. I mean, I would still think. I would think. You know what I would get? I'd get the wild turkey.
Yeah, the wild turkey 101 or the
rye.
The rare breed rye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to.
That's what $60 at most.
That's what I mean. I feel like this at 60, you can kind of see it as a counterpoint to that. But at 70, 80, it's just too high.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, then with what we're actually experiencing...
But I'd say if you can find this around the 50 range,
Yeah.
I mean, this is...
Knocks it out.
It's a contender.
It's a contender. Would you enter it into the rye contender?
The contender rye edition, you mean?
Trademark.
I feel like Willet...
Is better.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got a little bit more depth, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, that's batched, and different batches might be a little different for some people. Same thing with this.
Wow.
Isn't that so funny? We were talking about the ice cream man like 30 seconds
Why
ago.
did you guys stop? I don't hear anything.
That's so weird.
It's just in your imagination.
I mean, maybe the mics couldn't pick it up, but there was an ice cream truck that just came by. All right. Guess that's a good sign to move on to the cask strength. All right, let's pass down the first of the cask strength. This is the cask strength version of the Pipe Dream. And again, we're dealing with a bourbon here. Brown label. The power of imagination makes us infinite.
Pour.
I'm thinking about having to pour this. That's why I said it. So, distilled in California, Indiana, Kentucky, bottled by Redwood Empire Distilling. So none of the Dickel in this one, it would appear. Interesting that the mash bill is the same. Bizarre. 74% corn, 20% rye, 4.5 malted barley, 1.5% wheat. So that means that they got that same mash bill from the other places, or are they calculating those percentages based on everything that's in here? Bizarre. Aged at least 4 years, and that is confusing to me. So, Dylan, if you have any explanation, or maybe some of our viewers do.
No, I'm trying to look for the price, actually.
Before we do that, alcohol percentage, 58.4%, 116.8 proof.
Which means useless information
What?
yet again.
No. I'm trying to figure out how much I paid for this.
Yeah, well, how about you figure out where the source is, what the sources are?
Oh, yeah.
What are we drinking? well, no, seriously.
Pipe Dream
Cask.
Your internet is terrible.
Internet.
Did you... All right, whatever.
Okay, I got it. It's $75.
So this is almost the same price then as the bottled and bond?
I guess. Well,
No.
this has got to be like some weird secondary market stuff, but...
He's just looking at Google.
I know. He's not even looking at Google.
He hasn't done his homework for this one, guys. But do you know if this is all their own distillate or not? It says Kentucky, Indiana.
Yeah, it's not. It's.
But how do they have the mash bill percentages? Or are they just averaging them out? That's what's blowing my mind. Because there's no way they got that exact same 4-grain mash bill from a place in Kentucky and a place called MGP. I mean, MGP, they might have had it custom done, right? But
No, I mean, like, I knew that it was blended, but I didn't realize that they put in the mash bill there.
all right, how is the nose? Is it just me?
It's muted.
Or does this smell younger? Like, I almost get grain in this one. Dylan's looking up his taste.
Something's off. I think it's like toned down for
The
me.
nose is, I don't know, it's just kind of, it's not as clear.
Yeah.
It's chaotic almost. All right, I'm going to try the palate. Oh,
There we go.
it's grainy though.
Yeah, really grainy.
But it's almost like malty grainy. It's syrupy.
It's
weird,
thick.
but it is grainy. This is interesting. More grainy than the cheap bourbon. Or the bottle and bond bourbon. I actually think I prefer the bottle and bond
I'm not
to
getting
this.
anything in that.
Bottle and bond is better.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just the grain.
The grain, it's grainy.
The grain.
Wow.
It's got a better mouthfeel. It's got more sweetness maybe, but it does have more grain.
Yeah.
So I feel like some people would prefer this. Just not the three of us necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little sour
grain.
too.
Sour, yeah. I agree.
Really punches, man.
Yeah, I'd take the bottle and bond
Yeah.
over this by far.
I mean, to be honest, like,
This isn't that great.
for the price, I can get cask strength.
Yeah, you're saying this is at 75 now?
I mean, sometimes it'll be priced up into the hundreds.
Yeah.
And people are losing their mind over
Not
it.
worth it. Stick with the bottle
This
of
is
bond.
this is not a $100 bottle.
All right. Well,
It's way too young.
let's move on to the, what's next? The Lost Monarch. Okay, pass on down the next one. What are we on? Lost Monarch. Lost Monarch, cask strength. Look at that. blend of straight whiskeys. Again, we're at, what is this, 58.6, 117.2. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. Is that the same quote? I feel like I just read that. It is. Okay, so I'm not losing my mind. The quotes are the same. Back of the bottle here, you can see this is batch 1, bottled August 2022, and 55% straight rye, 45% straight bourbon. This one is bottled by Redwood Empire, and it does not say what's in it. It just says uncut and unfiltered, aged for a minimum of 3 years. What are you laughing at?
Dylan doing his own thing, and it's like not even useful information for the time.
Yeah, comment below, guys, if Dylan should do his homework before the episode or in the middle of the episode. One job.
I mean, I had a laptop.
Cut that. Okay, blended whiskey. How's the nose?
Still has that conflict.
Yeah.
Just.
I think it's exposed more.
Yeah, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, it just
like this is really
literally
chaotic.
Smells like somebody mixed some rye with some bourbon.
Yeah.
It's not bad though, per se.
Yeah.
Okay, palate.
Man, you get a lot of that.
The grain comes.
The grain
I'm getting
comes
a
through
grain
a lot.
hit.
Yeah.
And it's too much, I think.
Yeah.
And it's really drying.
It's drying again.
Yeah.
Well, not as much as the,
I don't know.
the other one, but this is actually.
I think this was like amped up.
I think it's
on the drying.
And it's spicier. I feel like
Really?
it's like the opposite of Blade. Instead of getting the best of both, it almost got the worst of both. Like it's just like the spicy components of the rye and the grainy components of the bourbon.
I'm getting a sour
And the sour
thing.
hit.
It's just really
I don't know.
prominent.
To me, I don't get the bourbon weirdness that you're getting. I'm getting like the rye issues.
See, I think the grain is the young bourbon. That's what's hitting me.
Yeah.
And then the rye is like too spicy almost.
Yeah.
And it's too like metallic almost.
Yeah.
It's really, not my jam.
Not my jam.
Same here.
Again, much
Same.
prefer this bottled and bond rye. Far better.
Yeah.
Far better.
I agree.
All right, one more cast strength to get through, guys. Let's do it. All right, pass on down. Emerald Giant, cask strength. Again, it's the same bottle design, just with the kind of brown label. Our proof point on this one, we're at 58.2%, which is 116.4 proof. And on the back, you can see the mash bill: 94% rye, 5% malted barley, 1% wheat. No corn in this rye. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. And
Not even 3%?
no,
Wow.
1% wheat. So distilled in California, Indiana, and Kentucky, bottled by Redwood. So again, kind of this mystery of what are they blending? Where does that 1% wheat come from? Oh, we actually poured some of this before the episode, so it would open up a little bit, because this was the only one that was a fresh crack, and I didn't pour quite enough. So I'll have to top it off a little bit. So in order to be fair, the others have had some time to open up. All right. Distracted Dylan.
Dylan, once again, Dylan useless.
How's the nose? Okay, better.
Definitely.
It's still a little bit.
But man,
Young. There's a
young. I'm getting
But
like
you know
the
what?
ethanol
Okay.
on this.
Hats off, because
There's a nice core to this.
yeah, the young part is not overwhelming.
The
Like
core rye flavors are pretty rich, actually.
To the point where it's like drowning out the what could be a lot of grain, but
Yeah.
you don't get that much of it. So
There's
kudos.
something nice in the middle of this. Like I can't really say that I,
I still
love it.
smell the rye component there.
Well, it's a rye, so. All right, that's the palate. It's kind of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Starts out really good, then it gets kind of bad, then it gets good again, then it gets bad on the finish.
On the finish, it's bad.
But now at the
It's the drying. The
way end of the finish?
Yeah, it's really dry.
at the very, very end of the finish, though, I get the sweetness come back, which is interesting.
I'm not
I'm not getting that.
I'm getting super uber drying.
I'm
I'm
getting,
not getting
very
drying,
end.
I'm
interestingly.
getting dry and bitter.
Let me try again.
Almost bitter for me. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I also agree with your roller coaster analogy, because I think that's exactly what I experienced from
First
the
hit on the
front.
palate is sweet,
So sweet.
and delicious
So
and
sweet.
balanced. And then as it kind of moves through your palate, there's moments where it like peaks
It
again.
totally goes in peaks and valleys.
And then the
yes.
finish. Okay, this time the finish isn't as good.
It's super drying, dude.
I'm not getting the drying on this as much as you guys are, interestingly. My tongue is numb.
Almost medicinal now.
It is numb.
Feeling. Yeah, I get like the
Almost
numbing,
like numbing.
the numbing spice.
Numbing spice.
The
Yeah.
Szechuan peppercorn thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's okay.
It's okay. Again, I'd still take the bottled and bond.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think
it's
That's
still
what
the
this is
standout.
proving is that this is
yeah, I agree.
wow.
All right, well, I have one more, and then we'll get to a recap. Why don't you pass on down that 14-year-old? All right, the Haystack Needle Double Barrel. Look at that. It is a 14-year-old bourbon whiskey finished in Cabernet Sauvignon cask. 110 proof, barrel strength. This is a barrel pick, as you can see there on the back, by KL Wine. Haystack Needle, winter 2022 release. It says this is a limited edition single barrel offering from Redwood Empire. Select lots of 14-year-old bourbon are carefully chosen, and then they finish them, non-chill filtered. I believe it's MGP, is that right? Distilled in Indiana. So we're going to assume MGP or Ross and Squib. Dylan has nothing to add.
No, I have something to that. So, I got distracted. There were, things that needed to be done. But look, there are barrel picks, and there was a 15-year that was released. I didn't get those. I mean, I don't think I'm missing out. But this was another unique offering, and so I thought I'd pick this one up because...
Yeah, I mean, so we've had this discussion a lot of a distillery that releases a single barrel from another distillery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like what is that other one? Is it St. Cloud? Is that what it was? Yeah. All single barrels. None of it is their own. I mean, some very good ones, let's be honest. I still don't really understand the mentality behind it.
Yeah, why don't they just release it? The person selling it.
I guess. I don't know. Anyway, how's the nose on this one?
Sweet.
It's very sweet. It smells like MGP.
It smells like grape.
But like well-aged MGP. Why would you finish this then? What are we finished in Cabernet?
Cabernet.
I got a hint of that. It's not overpowering. It seems subtle, actually.
It's just sweet.
The aroma's okay.
Aroma's okay. Palate? Some oak there.
Yeah, it's a lot of
A little bit of jam in the middle. It's pretty nice.
I mean,
The finish is short.
very short. It starts with, to me, I mean, like the way I tasted this is, it started with the cab flavors,
Almost.
more than the the whiskey.
You get that tiny taste, though, of the well-aged MGP. It's in there. It's like
On the
covered
front
up.
end or on the
The
back
mid
end?
palate.
I think mid
palate.
Yeah.
You get almost that like rich jam that we get in some of those old
because the mid was the most enjoyable
Okay.
part for me.
The mouthfeel.
the mouthfeel.
You get
as
the
well,
mouthfeel.
but it's like been messed up or somehow. I don't know if the finish messed it up or it just
Like,
wasn't,
cuts off.
or if it was too tannic before or something, and then they needed the finish to do something different with. I don't know.
I mean, I can taste the cab at the beginning and at the very end. The mid becomes a little bit tricky to interpret,
Mid's
but
the most enjoyable part.
but you know what? I mean, yeah.
Here's a question. Why would you finish a good 15-year-old MGP barrel
Well, this is a 14-year, but
or 14-year?
because it stinks.
Right. That's my question. Is why would you finish a good one?
Yeah,
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
Right? Like this was one that was off profile. Maybe it was already over oaked.
yeah.
And you need to do
trying to
something
taper it.
to kind of save it.
Yeah.
And I kind of think they might have. It might have been over oaked. And I kind of feel like it tempers it.
If that's what actually the intent was, I think they accomplished that.
It's certainly
But
not
it is.
bad.
But it
not
is
bad.
like.
It's good,
But when the
yeah.
Cabernet kind of goes away,
Yeah.
you could still taste the over oaked
Yeah, it's in there.
bitterness component.
Right. But
Yeah,
it's
so it's
pretty
there.
well masked, I got to say. I'm usually pretty sensitive
Yeah.
to that. And I feel like this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the price point on this, though?
Oh, that's a good question.
Back to his laptop again, folks. So,
He's
bust
this
out
one.
his iPhone. Fancy
Let me
pants.
see what I paid. It's been a long time.
I feel like it was over 100.
Yeah, it had
like
to
it was
be.
120.
It's got to be 140 or something, right?
I mean, it's pretty good. I don't know that I'd spend 140 on it, but it's pretty tasty.
Oh, pass.
Well, anyway, we'll pop up the price paid if Dylan can actually find it later.
Yeah. So
Useless.
But we think in the 140 range.
I mean, they do finished stuff. They do finish it in other type of barrels as well. There's a 15-year that's not finished. They have some.
But again,
barrel
it's
picks.
all sourced.
Yeah, I mean
all
that's
the
that's
MGB
that's
sourced.
the issue. I wanted to do this because people are losing their mind over
Yeah.
it.
So let's get to
this
our-
was getting sold out.
Let's get to our recap.
Let's go to the recap.
You know the question. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I think followed by this, actually. But this is the only one I'd really say, like,
Spend your money
this.
here.
And actually, this is not bad. It's not
yeah,
bad.
you're
For the
right,
price, when
but
you're factoring in
just spend
price.
your money here.
Maybe.
I mean, like, compare this to other cheap ryes. Should we try the Old Forester just for comparison to this?
Yes. Now something of utility. No, there should be like 6.
So we got some blue glasses here. I'm going to pour the Old Forester into the blue. We've got some clear glasses. Jules is going to pour the cheapo. We're going to compare the cheapo, right?
First.
Dylan?
Yeah.
The cheapo compared to this?
No, I thought we were doing this.
See, I think this will. I'm more curious about the bargain here.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Let's go.
Because this is a bargain bottle. So we're going to do a little comparison. The cheap. What is that? Rocket Top?
Yeah.
No.
This is Emerald Giant.
Emerald Giant. So Emerald Giant versus Old Forester. Oh, man.
I'm not any better.
Oh, you're better. Look at.
You got a pool.
What is.
So it's the Giant's pool. Giant's Causeway.
All right.
I think the mash bill is their mash bill.
Okay, so. Nose them. Whoa, they're really different.
Wait, you know what? This is truly a blind because I don't know which one you poured what.
Oh, okay.
So-
Great.
I'm not saying anything.
Good, I won't tell
But I
you.
like the clear one.
The clear one smells more like rye.
Exactly, which is so weird.
No, I like the blue.
You like the blue?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go clear. It's fresher. It's mintier.
Yeah.
The blue is like.
Although
the blue
I
has
think-
a little more sweetness.
I was going to say, I think the blue has a little more depth.
Yeah. This is actually a mood thing.
Yeah.
What kind of mood are you in?
Yep.
You know.
How much you want to explore.
All right, palate.
I have a winner for me.
Wow, the blue is really sweet.
I think I like the clear.
I like the clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know which one this is, but
I think I like the clear too.
I like the clear.
The clear is more of a rye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your guess? Jules and I know because we were bringing that. What's your guess? I think it's been a long time.
Okay,
since we had
I think this is Redwood.
it is.
It
Yes,
is. Yeah.
It is the Redwood. The Old Forester is kind of sweeter, and I think this is a very like one of those barely legal ryes. I think it's like a 51% rye or 55. I'll try to pop it up if we have the info.
Dylan, check that out.
But so here, this is my point. This is why I think we should add this to the list for a bargain rye. I think it's pretty
with
good.
you.
I think
with
it's
you.
pretty
Not
good,
bad.
Yeah.
and especially in comparison
holds its
to
own.
another pretty good bargain rye. I mean, this is
It holds its own.
Rise forgiving.
I think it's a blind.
it's pretty good.
It's a blind,
It's
man.
very rye.
Blind
I mean,
challenge.
A semi-blind. So we have the winners here. It is the Emerald Rye. I'm sorry, the
Rocket
Emerald
Top.
Giant
Yeah, Emerald Giant.
and the Rocket Top.
It's growing on me a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I kind of enjoy it.
I'm growing on
if you're in
yeah.
the mood for a real rye, this is great.
It's growing
And
on
I
me.
think you want to level up, you go to the bottle and bond.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. That's a takeaway.
The bourbons need some work, maybe. They're at an interesting place
I'm
with
kind
this
of
one
disappointed in this.
in the cast strength.
My hope,
Yeah.
though, my hope is that they will get their own
own,
distillate
Yeah.
and get
then
it right.
focus on that.
Because I think,
It's promising.
I mean, this is the reason why I think.
Well, that's what this-
That's
this
why
is-
I was surprised that they put the mash bill
mash
here
bill.
because we know they source a lot of the stuff.
Well, because their
And I don't
rye,
think it's not a calculation. It's their mash
stuff.
bill, right?
yeah, their rye has corn in it. This one does.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Like that one didn't, right?
Yep, it did not.
That's what's so weird. Like I don't
I mean,
understand.
I couldn't get a straight answer. So
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They have a good rye.
Yeah.
We know they got a good rye
Base
recipe.
is great.
They have a bourbon recipe that could go somewhere, maybe. Mm-hmm. It's going to need some tweaking. The blends, I'm not sold on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
I don't like the blend.
You know, I would refine the base product maybe a little more, but you know, it's an interesting lineup.
I would get rid of the blend.
Yeah,
To me, I'm never gonna buy it.
the Lost Monarch. Yeah.
The rye, I think there's a lot of potential.
Yes.
I'm interested in their own distillate aged out.
Yeah.
I think the finished stuff is just, I don't know.
It's okay.
I
It's just expensive. You're paying a
for
lot of money.
$150, this is
some
not
MGP.
this is not worth $150. So I'm never buying that ever. So at this point, I would say
The rise.
one of these two, maybe.
Yeah.
But
If you need a cheap rye, I would consider this. It's pretty good in this price. I mean, in the $20 to $30 range, it's actually really good.
Yeah.
This is interesting to try academically. The Rocket Top.
so let me ask you. Okay, I get that they're blending a lot of different things, but what's the personality here? What are they going for? What is the distinguishing flavor profile?
It's rustic. To To me, it just tastes kind of rustic. I don't know what that is. And the thing I really like about it is none of it's really grainy.
True.
That's actually the most impressive thing about it is none of it tastes like the typical young craft distillery stuff. It actually has a good fundamental here.
I mean, there are other craft distilleries in that area that has a lot of grain.
And I feel a lot of craft distillers have problems getting the grain out.
Yeah.
I mean, even MGP stuff.
Yep.
A lot of it is still pretty grainy. Like they do a good job with it and it tastes pretty good.
Right.
But this is actually, that's the highlight for me.
But are they doing that expensive flavor?
Not with the ryes. I think the ryes are excellent.
Well, I'm excited about maybe what they're going to come out
Produce
with.
more. Yeah.
Maybe in 3 to 4 years.
And I'd say it's definitely one to keep an eye on. And I think if you can find them at a good price, they're worth trying some of these. But, they're not necessarily
it is high price, though.
Tends to be, yeah.
But it is craft. It's comparable with other craft.
And you're donating to a good cause.
True. They plan to save
Saving
the
trees.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. There's a drink through of Redwood Empire. Jules, please take us out.
Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Either way, let us know. Subscribe for more videos for Curiosity Public. If you want to help us out, please consider joining Curiosity Private membership program on YouTube and Patreon. We're also selling t-shirts. Oh, not that one. Links will be in the description. We're back on with that one.
It's on the
Links
other side.
in the description. And we have a podcast on all the major podcast platforms out there. As always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious.
Felt like I hiked through the forest.
You feel tired? It was a bit of a slog.
Felt kind of sluggish is what it is. Because it's like, that's what I can...
Yeah, it's all right. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's all right. I'm actually really surprised that we liked it more than the Old Forester.
Me too.
That was the surprise.
That's a win.
That was the win.
That's a win. I mean, you beat a legacy distillery at the same price point, basically, for their rye.
Right.
Actually, it's probably a little cheaper.
But
sometimes it is on sale.
But that's a good take home.
And that one's available at the grocery stores. So
Well, here, it's available.
yeah.
there we go.
I'm falling asleep, man.